Hello. I'm Redmond O'Hanlon, and I've been sailing in this beautiful tall ship for almost 6 months now. And I'm astonished at the rich marine life that we've seen. Experience would be more like it. Enormous number of different species of dolphin, for instance, from the North Atlantic dolphin to the little commerson's dolphin in the Magellan Strait, and a very large number of whales. I find all that wildly exciting, what's happening in the depths beneath us, as well as right here on the surface. The Tonga Trench, for instance, 10 kilometres deep, you could drop Mount Everest into it and there'd just be a bubble on top. One's head gets crowded with riches. Right now I want to show you what life is like living on this beautiful boat for 6 months plus. If you come with me, I'll show you something extraordinary. Now, to me, this is the most important, wonderful place on the entire ship. It's a TV studio, of course, and I'll tell you about a few of the scientists that we talked to here, but really it's my library. So here are the Darwin first editions, Lyell, and the first English edition of Humboldt on the left, and the wonderful facsimile of the Zoology of the Voyage. Beautiful, beautiful books. And then we sit here and we get some scientist victim, and we talk about the very latest advances. What do you think about? And I've learnt extraordinary things. I no longer look at the sea as an empty place. It's full of halibartis, little tiny ocean skaters whizzing about everywhere. And then way up, there's millions of tons of dust passing over from south of the Sahara. And it dumps on the Amazon, and that fertilises the Amazon, and it fertilises the sea as it goes. Anyway, that's enough of that. I get carried away. I could stay there all day. But I have to show you where I sleep. This is a scene from the Hammer House of Horror. I don't know quite how it got so bad, but that's packing. Cameras. And then the sleeping's wonderful. You stuff this around yourself and then you can stay in. Here's your storm board that holds you. And there's the nasty alarm clock. The secret is to get out of your cabin the moment you wake up. Otherwise, deep, dark, suicidal depression hits you. Get up there, talk to people. Wonderful, wonderful people. All over the ship. You are never alone except in here. Now, come and see the ship's artist, the most handsome young ship's artist in the history of ship's artistry. But he has a studio at the top of the stairs here, which cheers one up. Just you get to the top of the stairs and you feel lighter. Here he is. We've caught him at work. It's very bad to interrupt, but this is what I see first thing in the morning coming up, and I think it always gives me a turn. So realistic. Tiny, but very powerful.
Thanks.
And what are you doing now?
Oh, just finishing off a sketch that I was working on. I thought I'd finished it, but yeah, with Bart working on the back.
He takes the most extraordinary bird pictures that I've never seen anything like it, which I suppose you'd expect if you sail right around the world in a sailing ship with no motor and everything comes to see you. It is extraordinary. First really good pictures of the spectacle petrel. Well, I'm back on the ship. I've been in Indonesia, following in the footsteps of another one of my great heroes, Alfred Russel Wallace, perhaps our very greatest naturalist, a better naturalist than Darwin, because he had to be, because he had to sell his specimens, and a new species was worth a lot more than something that was already known. But the high point in it for me was certainly getting up at 1 a.m. in this little concrete, sleeping on the floor hotel, and climbing these small hills, but straight up and down. Incredible physical exertion, and in the dark, with a little head torch on. But we got to this sacred place, in my terms, sitting on the wet leaves of the jungle floor, everything slippery, mud everywhere. And way up, there's a bare branch. Now, it's just this one spot in this forest where Wallace's standard wing, the one bird of paradise that he actually discovered, comes to display. Now, that tells you how incredibly rare these birds are. Nobody ever sees them. They certainly don't bark like dogs. They make a noise like an inflated magpie. They go... but here it's just as wonderful. I'm having such a good time, the old man may very well just pass out. Anyway, I know you're going to watch this episode now. I hope you are, and I haven't seen it myself, but I hope it's going to be as beautiful and extraordinary as this particular jungle trip was.